Hi.
Nice to meet you. What is your name?
I'm Delilah.
Hi, Delilah. I'm Melody. I'm a social worker here with Moving Forward Agencies. You can have a seat. Sorry about that. How was your ride over here? You find it okay?
It was just long, those bus drivers, they just think everybody has the time of day that they do.
Oh, I know. Jeez. Well, I'm glad you're here. Man, before we get started, I just want to let you know that everything you say will be kept totally confidentiality, that I will not say it to anybody else, unless if I...
So like if my parents call you, you're not going to tell them?
No, don't worry. Everything will
Okay.
be kept in secret between me and the other social workers at our agency. And then, except for if I feel that there's a threat with you harming yourself or others, I will be obligated to tell the proper people needed. Also, this session is 6 minutes long. If you feel like you're going to be late or anything, I'll give you the office number that you can just call. But even if you're late, it is going to be just 6 minutes long. Let's see. And I got your call. You said that you were going to focus. You're having some sort of problem with your family?
Yeah, my parents, they just want to throw me out of the house just because, I have 3 kids. I don't know where they think we're going to go. But, they decided that I can't contribute enough so that I need to be leaving the house.
Right. Okay, well that's perfect, because that's what we deal with. We deal a lot with family and individual counseling. So, like you said before, why do you think your parents why did they throw you out of the house?
Because they said I can't contribute, but is that my fault? I mean, really. I can't get a job. I've applied. I've even applied at McDonald's. I mean, really. I went from having this good job at the store to now having no job, and not even any store will hire me again. I mean, I can't help that. That's not my fault. Who's going to feed my 3 kids?
Right. What happened to your other job?
They decided that I needed to be let go because they were cutting back on hours, and because I was newer, they felt that I should be the one to go rather than somebody who's been there for so much longer.
Yeah, that makes sense, but that stinks. Man, have you always lived with your parents?
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm still young, but I've had 3 kids, so I've had to live with them. I've moved out with some of my baby's fathers, but really that hasn't worked out well for me, and so now I'm here by myself with 3 kids.
Yeah, where have you been living since you've moved out?
Well, I lived with my first baby's father. I mean, we were only 14 when we met, and so I moved out when we were 16, and around that time is when I had my first kid anyway, so I lived with him because, I mean, my parents weren't very happy that I was pregnant in the first place, and so I just needed somewhere to go, and so, I mean, I was in love with him. Why wasn't I going to love with him? But, after the kid was like a year or 2, he just started having issues, and it just wasn't meant to be, and that was fine. We left on happy terms. He still gives me child support, which is how I can still support some of my kids.
That's good.
And I can pay for their food. But that's all I can do. I can't give my parents that money for rent. They need it to eat.
So is that all you're doing, though, with your parents? Is that the only contribution you were making?
Well, it's the best that I can make at this time. My savings is down to like $100. I used to pay them for grocery, and I'd help out as much as I could, but I helped my mom clean the house. I helped my father with their needs. Why isn't that a good enough contribution? Yeah,
and it's hard when you have 3 kids and you're working and having the big
they don't like my new boyfriend, but they think I'm just going to go and get pregnant again, and I'm not going to contribute in any way. But I'm really trying. I don't want to get pregnant again. And, we're being smart about what we do. We're not just going and trying to make more kids.
Right, exactly. Do you think that, are all your kids living with you right now?
Yeah, and then my parents think that I should leave my kids with them, and I should just move out on my own. But those are my kids. Why would I leave my kids with them? They wouldn't have left me with somebody else. So how should I leave them with them?
Well, are you making enough money right now that you're able to support your 3 kids?
Well, I mean, 2 of their fathers are giving me child support, so at least they're giving me money so that I can buy my kids food and clothing. That's what really matters. My parents, do they want me to move out with my boyfriend? I mean, they don't even like him as it is. So why should I move out with him? He shouldn't support me. We've only been dating for a month. Yeah,
you shouldn't move in with him yet. Well, maybe your parents are just concerned about their grandchildren, and they want them to have the best growing up possible, and right now you're not there because you're still in the process of looking for jobs, and so they just want they want their grandchildren to stay with them until you're able to get a job and you're back on your own feet. That they don't think you're a bad mother, just right now going through something.
Yeah, but I shouldn't have to leave my kids. What if if I leave my kids, they might think that I'm a terrible mom because they're not going to understand why is their mom leaving them with grandparents and being out with her boyfriend.
Right. Well, it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to leave them forever. Like, I mean, they would understand that just until you get on your feet, that you could just, you know, live somewhere and visit all the time.
Well, my mom already tried taking my first child away from me when I was 16 years old. She didn't think I'd be a good enough mother then. She thought my baby should stay with her, that she'd be a better parent for them. So that's why she allowed me to finally come back and live with her, because she knew I wasn't going to let her take my kid. So she knew the only way was to let me come back.
Have you ever tried talking to your mom about this? Like what you just said to me? How upset you are about she tried taking your first kid? Have you ever told her that you're upset with that?
Well, she knows I didn't want her to do it. I mean, I came back home because we argued and I wasn't going to let her take my kids.
What about, did you ever tell her how you're so upset that they made you leave the house?
Well, I mean, I was upset, but I was happy living with my boyfriend.
Yeah.
I mean, I really didn't care. The only reason we couldn't continue living together either is because he lost his job and we couldn't pay for an apartment to live on our own. So he had to go back to his parents. I had to go back to mine. Plus, I mean, we were still trying to finish high school.
Right. I didn't either. Well, the time's almost done, but I just want to let you know that this is great stuff, and I'm very interested in helping you and your family get on the right feet, the right path, and that everything's going to be hopefully good, you know, that you can see your kids and everything. But the session's done, so if you want to make another appointment, come back anytime you want. But it was great talking to you, Delilah.
Thank you.
And I will see you later.